Hello friends, this is part 15 of the application development series. In this session, we will learn about radio buttons, drop-down and text area. Okay, radio buttons, drop-down menus, sometimes also called combo box or drop-down lists, then text area. Okay, in our one of the previous video sessions, we have touched a little bit about checkbox and radio button. So there is a difference between checkbox and radio button. With checkboxes, you can select multiple options, right? With checkboxes, you can select multiple options. For example, when you have to choose skill set, like you have multiple skill set, it is possible that you might be having more than one skill set, so you can choose multiple options, right? Like checkboxes, radio buttons also offer you multiple choices, but you have to select one out of multiple choices. For example, if there is a form where you have to choose your gender, then you can be either male, female, or others. Correct? As we have seen on one of the previous video sessions, we have to set the type attribute of the input element to radio to get a radio button, correct? Then use name attribute of radio button to make group of radio button controls. What does that mean? So this is my blank form. Okay, I'll create an input and I'll make the type as radio. Okay, and I'll close it. Input mail. I'll copy it two more times. And this time it's female and others. I'll have a nice heading also. Select your gender. Okay, save the changes and launch the web page at live server. You can see select your gender. There are three choices: male, female, and others. But if you see, I'm able to select all three at one go. Correct? But ideally, I must be able to choose any one of them. So how to do that? As the slide said, use name attribute of radio button to make a group of radio button controls. So I will make use of name attribute. Okay, so I'll put a common name for all these three. Name is equal to, let us say, gender. Okay, same name has to be there with other two so that they are tied with the same group. Okay, save it and see the changes now. So if now you can select any one of them. If you select any other choice, automatically previous choices getting deselected. Correct? So with this I'm able to select any one of them. Okay, okay, I'll remove this form tag for a moment just to demonstrate you something. Now in one of our previous video sessions we have seen that name attribute is also used to pass the value as a query string, right? I have taken a button submit, so that when I press the submit button, these values are taken to the query string. Okay, let us see if that is happening or not. I'll launch this page in the live server. See, I'm having male, female, and others. When I press the submit button, see, there is nothing going in the query string. The reason is we had just omitted the form tag. So form is required for this request, for this parameters to go as query string. So I'll enclose them in the form. Okay. And other thing is, since they are using name attribute, so these values will go as part of query string. Okay. Again, save the changes and now press the submit button. See, there is a question mark, but we have not selected anything. Select male and press submit. See, gender is equal to 1. It's not telling gender is equal to male. So what we have to do is we have to give the value as well. If we want a value, if user selects the male, then value should go as male. So value is equal to male. And similarly here value is equal to female. And for this value is equal to others. Okay, save the changes and launch the web page again. Now Select the male and press submit. Watch here, gender is equal to male. If you select female and press submit, gender is equal to female. So these parts are going to the query string. Okay. So name attribute is used to pass the value in the query string, and if for radio buttons or anything else for that matter, for any other input element, if you want to pass on specific value to the query string, you should use the value attribute. Okay. Now what is a drop down list? A drop down list is a control where you can see a list of items, and upon clicking of it you can select any one of them. For example, in many forms you might have seen the drop down list where you can choose a gender or you can choose a state. Okay, so later list of state is coming here. In this case the gender list is coming, so you can choose any one of them. So this is a part of example of drop down list or combo box or drop down menus. Second thing is use select element, just like input element for drawing the inputs for the text boxes or for the radio buttons, or for the check boxes. For this to draw we should use select element. We'll see in a bit. And use option element to get an option item, and this option element has to be used inside the select element. Let us see. I'll comment this. Okay, and I will have just like input element. In this case I should use select element. Okay, so this is select. And options, first of all I'll have some nice heading. Okay, heading is already there. Select your gender, sorry. Then inside it options element has to be used. Option. Okay, first option is male and second option is, let's say, female, and another option is others. Save the changes and see the web page. Okay, so we can see a drop down list with the choices and we can select any one of it. Okay, what happens when we press submit button? See, the question mark is there but value is not being passed. Okay, I selected female. It's trying to pass some value but it's not being passed. So let us see why it's not happening. The reason being, we have to use the name attribute. Without name attribute the values will not be passed to query string. Save the changes and again launch the web page. Now if you set the female, press submit, you can see this value is being passed to the query string. If you select others and press submit, you can see the value is being passed to the query string. Okay, just like in the above example where you used value attribute, you can use value attribute in this section also. For example, you don't want to pass this string male or female or others to the query string, so you can explicitly use value is equal to whatever. For example, if user selects male, then you want the value to be passed as m. Similarly, for female you want value to be passed as f, and for others you want the value to be passed as o. Okay, so save the changes and again launch the web page. Now if I select female, look closely. Now gender is equal to f. If it's others, then I press submit. Sorry, there is some mistake. It's not values, it has to be value. Save the changes and I can launch the web page. Others, if you submit, now you can see gender is equal to o. Okay, gender is equal to f for female. Now TextArea element. A TextArea element is used when you is used to take multi-line input from the user. For example, line 1 data, line 2 data, and we should use rows and calls attribute of this element to adjust the width and height of the text area. Let us see with an example. In this example, I'll have one line break. After that, I will draw text area. So this is text area. Okay. Let us say rows is equal to, I want to have this to have 10 rows, and calls property to have 20 columns. And if you want to have some default text, some default text to have. Okay. Okay, so now launch it with live server. We can see that we are having a rich text area. We are seeing a text area where you can enter the text in multiple lines. Okay, with normal text box it's not feasible, but with this you can do that. Now with this, when you press the submit button, you can see gender value is being passed, but this value is not being passed. What is the reason? Yes, you have guessed it correct. We should use the name attribute of this element. Okay, so if I use the name attribute is equal to my text or text value. Okay, then it will be passed. Okay, save the changes, refresh it, and when you submit it, see, value is equal to some default text it's being passed. Correct. So that's it for this session. So that's all for HTML sessions. We have covered all the basic aspects, basic concept of HTML sessions. Okay, then HTML will be integral part of all our future sessions, because there is no point in developing a website without HTML. So as we progress along with CSS concepts, JavaScript concepts, or Bootstrap and other concepts, HTML will always be there. And as we move along, we'll see other attributes and we'll keep learning those.